Scene 1. Pi says, do you really want us to go away from your life? Ayush says yes. Ansh says, okay Ayush, we will do what you want. Pari says, we will never meet again, can I hug you please? Pari hugs him. Ansh says, you will always be family to us. Mohana says, stop wasting time. Pi says, I am leaving. All the moments that we spent with you were precious. She hugs him and says thank you. Everyone walks away. Pari says, we are all together. Adi says, we will see whatever happens. They hold hands. Mohana says, all the hurdles of my way are going away. I won't have to see your face again. A light flashes. Ayush stops them. He says this boat has to go to moon. It can't go there alone now. So I will go. Pi says, don't do this. Aysuh says, you all gave me love and respect. And I was going to harm you. I don't know what family is. I can't be forgiven, hence I chose my punishment. Pari says, when will you come back? He says, never. Chetali says, why is the chandraat not working on you? He says, because it's dreamland and anything is possible here. Scene 2. Nishan says, they are all in the dreamland. I have to go inside and bring everyone one by one. Savi says, I will go there. Nishan says, no, I will go. Naiman says, I will go there. I will be able to find a solution there. We have only 1 minute is there. Ayush pulls Mohana and says, I will take you there too. Mohana says, leave me. Aysuh says, no, you will go with me. He says, Piya, tell Papa I am gone and I am sorry. Everyone wakes up. Piya cries and tells Nishan Ayush went to the moon. Savi cries. Shekhar says, we couldn't stop him. Mohana says, I don't want to go there. Ayush says, I can take you there. Mohana shoves him and jumps. The moonlight burns Ayush. Scene 3. Naiman calls Savi and says Duffy isn't home. Savi says she came here. Naiman says, what? I am coming to pick her. Pi says, where are Adi and Pari? They're in the balcony. Adi says, we are saying goodnight to our uncle. Pari says he's there. Naiman says, I was so worried. Duffy. Savi says she heard what Dilruba said and considered it right. You can stay here. Pi and Ansh come there. Pi says, you have to stay here tonight. Ansh says, you have to. Ansh says to Pi, there's something. Scene 4. Mohana is taken to a hospital. She has lost her mental stability. She says, I came from the moon. I am an Akane. That Devik and her brother sent me to the moon. I will kill that Devik. Piya. The doctors don't believe her. Mohana tries to take their life but she can't. The doctor says you need rest. Ansh hugs Piya and says can't sleep. She says, I was thinking about Naiman and Savi. Why didn't I think about them before? Duffy is so close to Savi. And they know each other for long. Ansh says no way. Pi says why? Ansh says let them decide. They will realize. Pi says I know them, they won't confess. Ansh says it takes time. Like it did to us. It has to happen naturally. She says we shouldn't delay. You stopped my wedding. Ansh says and what you did in the jungle. Pi says you took me from there because of your mother. Ansh says you risked your life for me. I was so scared. I was already in love but it took time to realize. Pi says our romance started in jungle. Ansh says no, it's not a good idea. Please says please. Ansh says okay. Pi hugs him. Ansh says to Naiman, you and Savi will come with us to see the house near the temple, we are buying it. Shekhar says what house? Vedashri says we are buying it. Naiman says why do you need it for us? Vedashri says we need more opinions. Pi says what is there's a danger for us. Savi says you already have powers. Vedashri says we will take care of Duffy. Mohana breaks things in anger and says I want my powers back. I am a